Welcome back to round 14 of the Innistrad Championship. We are deep into standard. Corey's not here right now. I'm not sure why I'm talking about Corey, but Cedric Phillips and Alieloni here to bring you the next round of action. Cedric, I had a brain fart, all right? I'm sorry.
Wow.
I apologize.
Okay. I'm gonna figure out what to do with that.
You know what? That extra minute in the ad break messed me up, okay? It's fine. Anyway, back to the action, my friend.
Okay.
Not Corey.
Okay.
We are gonna put someone in
Not
the top
Corey
eight.
is right.
Not Corey.
Not Corey. Unbelievable. I'm gonna let it go and focus on mono green aggro is what I'm gonna do.
Heck
I'm
yeah.
gonna do the thing that I'm good at, which is focusing on aggressive strategies, beating the crap out of Izzet strategies, which is what I'm hoping takes place here in just a moment, because I like a good amount of green deck. I like Christian Hauck, and I was beaten down in both formats. So it's a pretty good opening hand. It's got a chariot. It's got a 2-drop. It's got a 3-drop. And I will let it go. I will let Corey Phillips go and Cedric Phillips be here for the remainder of this match. Let's do this.
Let's do it. Good opening hands here for Christian Hauck. He's going to love going Ranger class into Kazandu Mammoth, into the Esseka's Chariot if he is able to find that 4th land. But Werewolf Pack Leader is a nice rip off the top here as well. So Kazandu Mammoth going to play as a Valley and pass the turn back, where we've got some stuff happening here for Toru Saito. He's got the Demon Bolt he can send off into the Foretell Zone. Also has Expressive Iteration and Galvanic Iteration at the ready. But a Braid, also very, very tempting, because there's a particular 3-drop for a 3-power toughness creature in the Werewolf Pack Leader. So he might be eyeing out here.
Looks like we're going to kick things off in the Ranger class. Now, one thing I do always like to say about this matchup, it's more so on the Izzet side than it is on the mono green side. Mono green is going to just kind of do the same thing every game, right? Creatures, they're pretty powerful as far as mana cost is concerned. They hit for a lot of damage all at once, and then ideally you get the game over with before Izzet kind of gets to their end game, right? The question is how much is Izzet prepared for this matchup? And Toru is pretty well prepared for this. Now, there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, as far as there's one Goldspan Dragon. I believe there's only one copy of Hullbreaker Horror, where if you were looking to really mess up mono green, you'd play 2, 3, or 4 copies of that card. So there's some hedging up and down and all around, which isn't a bad thing here for Saito if you want to be good against everything, but it makes you a little bit worse in this particular matchup.
Things looking pretty ideal here for Christian. Is able to get this Werewolf Pack Leader down and keep up mana for Snakeskin Veil in hand. Now, how much does Toru Saito want to get this off the battlefield? He does have two ways to deal with it.
You just want to keep the battlefield clean until you can really get things going. That's the entire plan in the matchup. So the Snakeskin Veil that's been drawn is pretty important here for Christian Hauck.
Old Growth Troll drawn at the top. Land number 4 is available here for Hauck, so he can multi-spell this turn. Wonder if he's curious about Ranger class. But quite a few options here.
Yeah, and this is what makes it tough on the mono green side, is because if you kind of misstep, you get set back badly by a card like Divide by Zero, Fading Hope, Galvanic Iteration, that sort of thing. So you kind of have to make sure that you maximize your mana and your play on every single turn that you make. You mentioned Rangers class activation and maybe attacking that way. I like just starting here, which is presenting an attack for 3, and see how Saito elects to respond.
It's going to be the Demon Bolt as the removal spell. Fired off first here for Toru Saito. Now, will this result in the Snakeskin Veil being cast? You gotta think it's a pretty good card to keep sticking around here. So Snakeskin Veil is going to protect this Werewolf Pack Leader. It's waiting for some friends to be able to draw cards off of its ability. But Test of Talents is going to say, no, thank you very much. And we're going to get a look at the hand here. This is very good for Toru.
This is kind of the nuts exchange here for Toru, because he's going to get the opportunity to play 3 spells. So Demon Bolt is 1. Target your Werewolf Pack Leader. Okay, you use one of your copies of Snakeskin Veil. You don't have a ton of those in the main deck. It's a great card in the matchup. Okay, well, those are gone now. I don't ever have to worry about them again. I still have a mana left over for your follow-up threat of your Rangers class token. I get to bounce that and scry if I want to. So he got to maximize his mana across this turn. It's a beautiful thing for this Izzet Epiphany player.
It's going to be very happy with that exchange indeed. Fading Hope gets rid of the Wolf token, scries a land to the bottom, and draws another Clearwater Pathway off the top of the library. But let's go Expressive Iteration, take a look-ski here.
Uh-oh.
There's an Oran's Epiphany, and there's a Hullbreaker Horror. Uh-oh, indeed.
Yeah, I'd be more concerned with the Kraken here than the Epiphany. That's kind of the endgame card that green does not want to play against, because if Izzet gets the opportunity on tap with that thing, it's game over.
Very much so. Chaining that together with all the cheap little spells that this deck loves to play is bad news bears for this green deck, which Christian hasn't been able to get anything to stick on the battlefield as at the moment. So let's see where he goes to now. It's going to be Essica's Chariot.
Yeah, he's got to pick up the pace here, and he's got to get a little lucky along the way. So, okay, there's land number 7. So Hullbreaker Horror is going to show up to the battlefield next turn. We see the Galvanic Iteration pretty useless right now, so the game plan is extremely clear about what's going on here.
Galvanic Iteration is about as useless as a fight spell with no creature to target.
Yep. I mean, at the best case circumstance, right, is you play Hullbreaker Horror, you get to untap and you cast Iteration, which, you know, does nothing, but, you know, at least it triggers the Hullbreaker Horror, so that's cool, I guess. You know, it's better than nothing.
It's a something. It becomes something not so useless with that Hullbreaker down on the battlefield. Old Growth Troll is going to join the fray. Essica's Chariot's going to be fired up in for 8 points of damage here, so down to 12 we go, and an extra 2/2 to boot.
Now, this isn't so bad. You know, you're getting pretty wide on the battlefield here. This doesn't look so bad. You know, we'll see what the draw step is as we go. You'd love to be able to deploy another Rangers class or something, but these snow lands are making it a little bit difficult. So that's the key land. That's the flashpoint. And Brawl? Wow, Brawl's actually pretty good. Second Brawl's actually not bad here. That's pretty funny. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So just doing a little math here. If you're going to fire up the Chariot with the Old Growth Troll, you have to figure out what you want to fire up with first, right? So you can fire up with the Old Growth Troll, you can do it with 2 tokens, depending on what you're scared of, because you're playing against an Izzet player that has 7 mana untapped, right? That could be a lot of different things. We all know it's Hullbreaker Horror and really nothing else, but Christian Hauck doesn't know that. So what do you want to activate Chariot with? Do you want to play Rangers class pre-combat? Do you want to activate Rangers class pre-combat? Do you want to fire up Faceless Haven with Forest, Faceless Haven? That's 3 snow permanents, which leaves you with a single green post. You have to get this turn right. If you don't get this turn right, you basically lose.
So advantage to Christian at the moment, but it all depends how he navigates this attack here. Knowing that there is a Hullbreaker Horror that could jump down at any time, there's also the Hall of the Storm Giants. Now we're going to go for what you mentioned, Cedric. Faceless Haven is going to be fired up here using the 3 snow permanents. And we're going to get some swings in. That is a lot of damage coming through.
So if you block a 2-power creature with Hullbreaker, or you take 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sets.
Isn't he?
Yeah, it's lethal. If you block a 2-power creature, it's lethal. So you have to play Horror, block a 4-power creature, take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you get to brawl away the Horror, I believe.
Yeah. Because there's no other spell that he can follow up with.
That's what it looks like to me right now. As Hullbreaker Horror comes down before blocks, if you block a 2-power creature, you're DOB, you're taking 12 unblocked. If you block a 4-power creature, you can make a decision between Chariot and Faceless Haven. You take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then post, brawl, fight something. It'll be indestructible because of the snow permanents, and then then green's still doing really good.
Here's the other consideration is Hall of Storm Giants. That ward is going to be a big deal post-combat to keep it alive. That also keeps the Hullbreaker alive, and if you draw a 1-mana spell, then you'll be able to Hullbreaker Horror, use a Fade Away or a Fading Hope or something like that to be able to stay alive? Question mark. Probably not being at 2, but I kind of like this a little more.
Yeah, so I guess the 1-mana spell, I don't even know if the 1-mana spell's any good, right?
Yeah. Well, it would get rid of 2 things off the board, but still he's at 2, so...
Yeah, if one creature comes through, you're dead. And yeah, even burn down the house... Burn down the house wouldn't even be good enough, right? I guess you'd have to peel Snowland to be able to turn on Faceless Haven to go for the W there.
Yeah.
And actually, I take it back. That's not even true because Old Growth Troll would go onto a snowland. Then you'd be able to tap that snowland for 2 snow and then another 4. So burn down the house is no good. So now it's just a desperation iteration, and I don't even know what it finds.
That was very good. That's the title of your next hit song, Cedric.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. That's going to be a concession there.
Big W. It's a big W for green.
So very, very good win there. Just pressuring with so many creatures. No way to keep control of the board. Toru Saito did the best he could. But after sideboard, he gets to go and get some goodies.
Some good ones indeed. And you're seeing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards coming in. We're going to be less Epiphany focused and more about just controlling the battlefield. So eggs, Thundering Rebuke, Abrade, Burn Down the House, Leer. A lot of good ones coming in. And some slower cards that are good against the opposing blue decks going out. For Hauck, not much changes. Blizzard Brawls are going to leave. It looks like an Inscription's going to come in. And Snakeskin Veil, which is an ace in this matchup, is going to come in as well.
I must say, I do quite like the Inscription of Abundance. Just being able to have a instant speed interactive spell on your opponent's turn, force them to respond to something then, and then being able to untap and do whatever you want on your turn. It's been super helpful for the mono green aggressive strategies.
There's been some interesting discussion around, like, if you're supposed to leave in some number of Blizzard Brawls when you know your opponent has access to egg. And if you do, how many you're supposed to leave in? 1 copy, 2 copy. You don't want the full amount, presumably. I think it's really negotiable about like what you want to do. Obviously, Christian Hauck's setup is working extremely well for him, so I'm not one here to critique it. It's just more of a conversation of which route do you want to go.
Game number 2 underway. Just to remind everyone, this is a win and in. Whoever wins this matchup will be in the top 8. So everything to play for here. They don't want to play another round of Magic. They want to get their win and in. One and done. Let's get things underway here. Alrund's Epiphany foretold. And how do we start off this time? It's going to be Werewolf Pack Leader. It's the battlefield, and it's going to get to smacking.
Probably just want to kill this while Hauck is tapped out, I guess I would say. Potentially. Like, if you're going to kill something, you probably want to do it while they're tapped out, just because of Snakeskin Veil. But Celestis is a good thing to use as far as acceleration is concerned. You just hate getting veiled when you're playing Izzet. It's the worst.
Rightly so. Fading Hope available with Celestis. Werewolf Pack Leader is going to chip in there for 3 points of damage. And here we're going to see Old Growth Troll. Come on down. There's a Divide by 0. Nice draw there for Toru Saito. Does have that Burn Down the House he's working towards, so he'll be quite happy if he'll find a land here and can fire that off next turn.
Found quite a few. Found quite a few.
So he's looking pretty good in terms of controlling the battlefield. He's going to go for the Divide by 0 just to keep the life total at a healthy 17 for the time being. Mascot Exhibition is fetched from the sideboard.
Yeah, I think I think I just like attack plus Chariot this turn. I like to keep it pretty simple.
Yeah. Chariot's great.
So
doesn't get hit by Burn Down the House, so that's a very, very nice card to have resolved on the battlefield. Burn, baby, burn. Is there anything else we're interested in doing this turn for Toru Saito?
Yeah, kind of a tough spot. You know, you burn down the house and you kill everything, which, okay, it makes a lot of sense. Actually, Burn's actually really good right now. I take it back because he does have a copy of Fading Hope in hand. So you burn down the house, and then the follow-up play from Hauck, you presume, will be Old Growth Troll, activate Chariot. Chariot gets bounced via Fading Hope. It's a really good exchange for you if you're Saito. So that's the play you kind of have set up. But that doesn't mean that Christian Hauck is going to acquiesce. And that's the kind of thing that's interesting this turn, is he might just go Pack Leader plus Thing, which is what he's doing now, and then activate Chariot. So now he's kind of spread his board out a little bit.
Yeah.
And is still going to have the ability to activate Chariot.
Unless he responds now and bounces the Pack Leader.
It's also very true.
And Chariot won't get a chance to crew.
Yep.
What do you dislike most? Because Fading Hope does give the Scry, if it's a token or the Werewolf Pack Leader.
Now this is so okay. I was going to say, is he for sure going to activate? I think you just have to. Just make your opponent have it. You know, there's no reason to get too cute here and say, okay, I won't do that. Blah blah blah. There's your land for the turn, the Tangled Veil. Now you're going to do some attacking. Ooh, we're actually wow. Okay, so we're going to bounce the token. Okay, got it.
Fair.
But you do take 4. Are you happy with taking that 4?
Toru seems okay with that for the time being. Those chunks do add up over time, though, so gotta be a little bit careful with these attacks. Smoldering Egg is on top of the library. Is that good enough right now? Is there something else that he could be digging for here?
Kind of interesting, right? So you can go... You can go like Egg plus Windfall. I mean, this turn you could... This turn you also have 6 mana, so you can Epiphany. Looks like we're going to keep it on top. Okay, that's notable. It is also notable that just taking the 4 damage there.
Yeah. Maybe he thinks he's pretty good at this point. Divide by 0 can protect his face.
Uh-huh.
I would also get 3 counters on the Smoldering Egg. You can flip that over with Auron's Epiphany. Perhaps just race to victory that way. Ooh, inscriptions, though. I like that.
Yeah, so inscriptions are interesting. Clearly they're a little bit more expensive than Blizzard Brawl, but they provide some real flexibility. Again, one of the things I really like about this green deck is you have a lot of options with your cards and how you're going to play them. Ranger's Class. How do you want to use that this turn? Do you want to activate that at all? It costs some mana. Faceless Haven, same thing. Do you want to play Old Girl Troll pre-combat? How do you want to use Inscription on a turn like this? Your opponent's got access to 4 mana right now. You know they have a Mascot Exhibition that they're 1 land away from, which would transform Smoldering Egg. And you have to assume the card over there is Auron's Epiphany, but it's a sideboard game. So do you really want to assume it's Epiphany? It's all those things that Hauck is thinking about right now, which makes him such a good aggro player.
With Old Growth Troll in the stack, divide by 0 is highlighted in Toru Saito's hand. Let's see if he goes for it here, just to keep this off the battlefield. He wouldn't be able to recast it. So there's no way right now, at least that Saito can see, that this chariot will get crewed up.
Yeah.
Divide by 0 fetches an Environmental Sciences. Not an irrelevant card. The life gain is important. Werewolf Pack Leader is going to chip in here for 3. Will we see a block here on Smoldering Egg?
So this is kind of interesting to me, right? Because
this could be 5.
Well, so what's interesting to me about this, you could have just activated Ranger's Class and attack for 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sure, take it. Move on with my life. But he didn't do that. He said, I'll attack for 3. Do I have something? Do I not have something? Do I have Snakeskin Veil? Do you care? Are you going to play around Inscription? Most people board Inscription out against this deck because they have Divide by 0 and Fading Hope and all these cards that make Inscription kind of bad, right? So it looks like this thing's just going to get through.
Nice. And for 5, down to 5 goes Toru Saito. And now what can he do with his turn? There's an Abrade that can deal with the Esika's Chariots. But first things first, we're going to get some birds. We're going to flip the Smoldering Egg. Ashmouth Dragon is going to get to smacking. And this is going to be an interesting turn of events here.
Yeah, so it's gotten...
Saito can get this Mascot Exhibition out.
Yeah, it's gotten tough now here for Hauck. And you got to think that the advantage is definitely Toru Saito's way. Because he's taken an extra turn. He's transformed Smoldering Egg into Ashmouth Dragon. He has the mana to cast Exhibition. Again, some decisions here. Go ahead.
Those spells, 2, 4, 6. That's 6 damage there.
Yeah, can you just finish it off now?
Yeah, maybe.
So 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think you're
Not
a
enough.
little short.
I'm very sensitive about my height, Cedric. Come now.
Oh, please. I'm very sensitive about my name. We're even.
Yeah, you won't let me live that down. Ashmouth Dragon is going to turn its attention to this Werewolf Pack Leader. The only threat on the battlefield at the moment for Christian Hauck does have that Esika's Chariot, but it needs some buddies. Let's see, where do we go from here?
Notable that we did the damage over to the Pack Leader. Okay, so we're going to do more damage that way.
Spikefield Hazard would have been nice just to finish it off.
Yeah, but you do have a spell here in Abrade.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so all the threats dealt with. Barring the Faceless Haven.
This is pretty adorable too, because yeah, you get to destroy the artifact. You're sitting at a pretty cozy life total of 7 here. I kind of like hanging back with the birds. You don't need to get too aggressive.
Yeah.
because things are pretty well in hand.
Just a little bop. Land's not what Christian Hauck wants to see. Does have an old growth troll, and can use Inscription of Abundance to fight this Ashmouth dragon while the shields are down in inverted commas. There's that treasure over there.
So slightly interesting. You do have enough mana this turn. If you want to go old growth troll, if you want to go Faceless Haven, fire it up. I think that's what he's thinking about right now. Is you can go Faceless Haven, fire it up, play a forest post, and still play old growth troll. But it looks like it's just going to be this. I'm curious to see how we want to use this.
Punch it out the sky.
Looks like that's what it might be.
Oh yeah. And then you can also crack the old growth. It's kind of like protecting his other troll for the time being. It's gonna just go back into its little cave, just gonna hang out on that land, and he'll be able to crack it on the end step here for Toru.
So you've given yourself some time.
Yeah.
By playing it this way. You're not underneath nearly as much pressure.
Still advantage very much in Toru Saito's favor right now.
I agree. You know, was that turn the highest impact of Inscription? Was that the best you could do with that card? I think that's the question.
Point, I would say yes, because just
keep going.
Yeah, you don't want to let them untap with the dragon. It's kind of like untapping with Lear. That's just bad news for you if that happens.
Absolutely. You know, like, how scared are you of that as opposed to, I'm going to play Old Girl Troll, I'll activate Ranger's Class, have the 2 mana up, and then if I get to untap on my turn with Inscription, does that change the outcome of the game? We're not really going to know. Obviously, he made his decision. Florahedron, not the best of draws right now, so...
Not the best draw at all. Ranger class can be activated. We could start digging off the top of the library. He hasn't even gone to chapter 2 yet, though, has he?
Nope.
No, he's just hanging out. That's a big old board on the other side of the battlefield here.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, so that's lethal.
Another creature down on the battlefield wouldn't be the worst.
If Hauck attacks for 5, 4 plus the Ranger's Class trigger, Saito can just take it because it's not lethal and then attack back and win. So he's incentivized to do this, which is present a lethal attack.
Yeah, so that at least one creature has to die.
Correct. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
Smart attack here from Hauck.
The tough thing is you got to put the counter somewhere, and if you put the counter on your 4/4 Old Growth Troll, the block can be like 4/4/3/2, something like that. You do this, like, you're going to lose your stuff.
Yeah.
You're going to leave the turn with nothing, and Saito's going to begin his turn with relevant stuff.
Yeah. Tangled Florahedron is the only thing left to do here. It's just going to hit the board as Tangled Veil. Celestis, let's have a look for another card. There's another Unexpected Windfall. And a counterspell, okay.
Yeah, that counterspell sews it up.
Yeah. Unexpected Windfall goes and finds a Burn Down the House. Gonna make some devils? Let's do it.
Yeah, if you want to get hyper aggro, you can.
Yeah, I dig it.
There you go. You got what you asked for.
So what kills him at this point? Nothing, really.
Nothing.
He's
not even like some weird oddity peel or something. Get you out of this. So.
And a Fading Hope. Yep. Toru Saito is gonna wrap things up here.
Aptly named Fading Hope. All right, well, you know what? Let's go to chapter 3. Take a little look-ski. You're dead. Well,
gosh darn it, Land.
It's time for me to say the same thing I say every time an aggro deck is playing in Game 3 of Sideboarding Game.
What's that, friend?
You're on the play. It's where you want to be when you're playing an aggressive strategy. This is why winning Game 1 when you're playing an aggro deck is very important, because your deck isn't getting appreciably better. You're making some slight improvements. Saito's deck is making some major improvements, but you're on the play in Game 3 playing for top 8 of this tournament. If I asked Christian Hauck before this tournament began, you're 11-2 and you're on the play for Game 3 with Mono Green. How you feeling? You'd say, I'm probably feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
This is where you want to be.
So.
This is where you want to be.
Let's see what the opening hand looks like. Kazanda Mammoth, Werewolf Pack Leaders, Snakeskin Veil, and Inscription. Doesn't get any better than that.
Good enough. Let's go.
On the other side of things, we've got Jwari Disruption, a Braid, and a Smoldering Egg, so pretty decent there for Toru Saito as well. Gonna hope to find some cards to dig through the library and get to the Haymakers. And those board wipes. Oh, nice. Sculptor of Winters, and very, very cool. Find off the top of the library there. That'll accelerate some things here for Christian.
I like starting there, and this also makes the Snakeskin Veil better. Because you just have more mana to work with.
Oh, yeah. Toru Saito now has to deliberate. Do I kill the mana dork, or am I getting this egg down? What would you do, Cedric?
It's a real question. You know, do you want to leave up Jwari Disruption? Because, oh, what if it's a turn 3 Chariot draw? Disruption that thing? Hello, we're doing it. Do I just want to do I want to abrade this creature right now and slow down my opponent a little bit? But then if they play an old growth troll, I'm in some serious trouble. Do I just want to play a Smoldering Egg and try to get that aspect of the game established? They've probably boarded out most of their ways to kill Smoldering Egg. Question answered. Difficult decision now.
It's very difficult, yeah.
If you're Hauck, you've just drawn a really good 4-mana spell. You'd love to play Mammoth, but instead you're just going to play Werewolf Pack Leader with the goal of playing Oddity next turn.
Just gonna play Werewolf Pack Leader. Have you met this card, Cedric? It's good.
I have. I'm a fan.
Uh-huh. It can become a 5-power creature too. It just takes a little bit of mana, not a land, but it's totally fine. Demon Bolt drawn here for Toru Saito, so can keep control of the battlefield, can keep these creatures off of it, which is what he's gonna go for here.
Oh, the door is open for the Oddity. I think you gotta go. I totally go with thinking about the decision, but I think we just use all of our mana. Let's give some beatdowns.
Oh yeah. There you go. Uvenwald Oddity in for 4, down to 16 goes Toru. Finds an Unexpected Windfall, which is a great card to have. It needs to find something meaningful off the top of the library here, or he is just going to get beaten up by these mono-green creatures.
So here's the tough thing here for Toru. You know, you have these options on how you wanted to play the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
On a Braid, Egg, Disruption on 2. And now, by playing the game the way that he did, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying now, Disruption has gotten significantly worse.
Yeah.
The chances of you probably countering something with Disruption are extremely low now. Now, again, right or wrong, that's not really up for debate. It's just now the Disruption has become less of a card, presumably, over the course of this game.
Yeah, it does get worse the longer the game goes. Uvenwald Oddity only knows one thing, and that is to turn sideways and deliver some beatdowns. So it's going to do just that. We're going to see anything before? Nope. We do have 2 Inscription of Abundances in hand for Christian Hauck, so he's going to be quite happy with that. Does he run out this Pack Leader? What do we think he suspects? I mean, Jwari Disruption does get 2 counters on the Smoldering Egg.
Not good enough, though. Okay, divide by 0. That's not particularly helpful. This is one of those times, too. This is, if you've never really watched this matchup, this is why mono green players max out on Snakeskin Veil post-board.
Mm-hmm.
This is the exact reason why, because it's this incredibly cheap and effective way to interact with divide by 0 and a bunch of other spot removal that the Izzet decks cannot afford to have countered.
Very much a do-or-die situation for those players this weekend, as we now have 2 very large creatures ready and raring to swing. This would get a card off of the Werewolf Pack Leader if both are allowed to swing.
Well, here they come.
Here they go. Toru Saito is going to ditch the land for Unexpected Windfall. Let's see what he can find. Is he trying to flip it now?
You can make a move right now if you're Hauck.
Yeah, he's flipping it.
Well, there's the step 1 to flipping it, right? With Unexpected Windfall.
Yeah. And
okay,
then
so
divide by 0.
And then, then you can divide. But you want to force him to divide first.
Yeah.
Use those treasures. Use that stuff. So you don't have that mana for future turns. Yeah, and now you probably pounce with Inscription. It's also interesting, too. You don't have to pounce with Inscription this turn.
Could just be the activation, but
it could be the activation because you're still going to have Snakeskin Veil up. And you do 2+1/+1 counters.
I'm thinking this is gonna go in a Christian's way.
Yeah, you're gonna like this exchange quite a bit if you're Hauck because of Snakeskin Veil.
It's just such a blowout. It's like all your best laid plans completely ruined by one itty bitty. Look at Toru. It's like, you got something, don't you?
And what's so great about this for Hauck too is that those treasures have to be cashed in.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're rooting for mono green, it's like, okay, Izzet has to use these because you can't just let this happen. So you got to respond in kind. So here's divide by 0.
This is so gross. Snakeskin is also available, and then Inscription is still available. So he could Snakeskin and Inscription, fight this thing, get it out the way. Oh my goodness me. What an absolute blowout here for Toru Saito. Mono green protecting its stuff. Jeez.
And what also the other backbreaker here, you're going to see the exchange in combat. I think that Hauck is considering casting the other Inscription to give his oddity +2/+2.
Why not?
Because that'll put those both out of the range of burn down the house.
Yep.
That also gets you extra damage across right now. You don't have to worry about killing anything because something like a Goldspan Dragon doesn't matter anymore. So I like being aggressive here.
Toru's face, I love it. Oh my goodness, it goes from bad to worse. Ultimate Oddity in for 6, down to 6. Goes the Japanese player. Celestis is the draw off the top of the library, but that's not going to help him at this point right now. So I'm thinking we're about to see our very first top 8 player in Christian Hauck rocking mono green aggro. He was the last player standing, undefeated today, and he is ready. Look at him. He's ready to relax.
Yeah, I really like the way that Hauck. I like the way that he has played this game in this tournament. Christian Hauck, put those arms in the air.
Good job, buddy.
Wave them around like you just don't care. He has played these aggro decks so well this weekend.
My
so
word.
well.